Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. So in the last few videos we've been discussing about social information networks, right? So if you haven't watched them yet, check out the link in description for the full playlist on social information networks. In this video we are going to discuss about walks, trails and paths. So these are three important concepts in social information networks, and we're going to discuss these today. So in this playlist, I'm targeting most of the syllabus for the social information networks course that we have in our computer science engineering. So if you haven't checked out the other videos yet, do check them out. Now, firstly, let us define each one of them. What is a walk? A walk is basically a sequence of nodes that can be followed, or sequence of nodes that can be visited by following or going through the edges. Basically, the nodes that are continuous. Now, what is a trail? A trail is basically a subset of the set of walks. So it is basically a walk with no repetition of edges. Okay, now what is a path? A path is again a walk with no repetition of nodes. Okay, so I hope you understood what I mean by this. So a walk is any path or any okay, in a layman's term, that's what a path is. So a walk is basically any set of nodes and edges that are connected to each other, right? A trail is basically a special type of walk where we are not repeating any of the edges. Okay, we'll understand better when we look at the example. And a path is another type of walk which has again no repetition of nodes. Okay, trail is no repetition of edges, path is no repetition of nodes. So if we have a set of walks here, we have a set of trails, subset of trails, and a subset of paths. So this is basically kind of like the Venn diagram of walks, trails and paths. Okay. Now let us look at an example to understand better. Okay, so let's say we have a graph here, node 1. Let's say we have node 2. We have node 3. We have node 4. And we have node 5. Okay. Now let's call the edge, let's give the edges also some names. So let's call this edge 1, let's call it E1, E2, E3, E4 and E5. Now in this, what would be, let's look for an example of a walk. A walk is any set of nodes that are connected with edges, right? So let's say it 1, E1, 4, and we can go either E3. So we are going this way, this way. Now from 4, we can either go this way or we can go this way. So what do you want to choose? Let's say we are choosing number 2. So if we want to go towards 2, we'll be choosing E3, 2. Then from there we can go to we can go to node number 3. So which basically means E4 and then 3. And then we can go back to 4 using E5. Right. So this is one example of a walk. Now, if you want to find out the example of a trail, what are we going to do? A trail would be usually, it is a special kind of walk, right? Wherein we are not repeating the edges. Right. So when we are not repeating the edges, let us say we're starting from 1 again. 1, E2, 4, E5, 3, E4, 2. Now in this way we have not repeated any edges at all, and this is one example of a trail. Now moving on, see, all the edges are unique, right? That is what you have to ensure in a trail. Now moving on to a path. In fact, in your walk, you can make it even longer. You can again say E2 going back to 1, E1 going back to 5. Right. Now moving on, let us look at the example of a path. Now in a path, the nodes are not repeated. That is the important thing. Right. So in fact, here you can give in E3 and 4 also. We are repeating the nodes, but that's okay for a trail, and that's not okay in a path. So let us say 1, E2, 4, E5, 3, E4, and 2. This is an example of a path because we are not repeating any node at all. We have 1, 4, 3, 2. We have to ensure that no node is repeated. That is the example, or that is the meaning of a path. So in your exam, you might be asked for the definition of a walk, and also you might they might give you a huge graph, and they might ask you to identify or give examples of walks, trails, and paths, or they may give a graph and they may give you a set of nodes and edges and ask you to say whether it's a walk, trail, or a path. So such kind of different questions might be asked you in the they might ask you in the exam. So basically that was all about walks, trails, and paths. I hope you got to learn something from this video. If you did, please do like, share, and subscribe, and stay tuned for the next video. Thank you guys for watching.